Going live. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Wednesday Royal Frenchel Live Talking Dog Show. Today, we're going to have some really great topic to go over. We're just going to give a minute for some people to show up. We're going to talk about some of the foundations of
Gigi.
what Anahata has done here at Royal Frenchel for the 5 minute hands-on play exercise that we do. It's very interesting. We have Samantha Abrahams here today again, and then we'll have another special guest coming up. Here's Anahata.
Hi, folks. Anahata here with Royal Frenchel Frenchies, and I just want to say welcome. It's so sweet to think about today's topic. I want to move along pretty quickly because it seems like this hour goes so fast.
Yes.
And today is a really important topic. It's the secret of hands-on play, the 5 minute hands-on play that I've created over the years and is used to be part of the proprietary method, but I thought it was too valuable and I shared it publicly, and I want people to know about it because it just has changed so many people's lives, even with their children and their relationships, to be honest with you. The methods I use are very, very simple, but they're principles that go deep with any living thing. And that's what I want to talk about today. Um, uh, the difference between having a relationship with your dog and being in relationship with your dog. Really, they're two different things. One can be sort of like when you're in relationship with your dog, and it's somewhat at your dog. You're telling your dog where to go, when to be, what to eat, where to sleep. Move out of the room. I've got guests coming. Don't chew that. Do this. It's very, very human centered. Everything is about you, your life with your dog, in terms of your perspective, what needs you have. And when it comes to intimacy with your dog, people think they know their dogs. But in fact, they really don't. Inside of a few minutes, when I'm visiting someone with a dog, they're often, a bit blown away. Even dogs that don't get along with people suddenly fall for me. And it isn't that I'm some great dog whisperer, although, I certainly have been called that. The truth is, it's a simple principle. One is I look deeply into their eyes, and that really matters. Two is I have a really deep interest in who they are. And I seek to identify that. I seek to identify who are they in reference to my frames of reference. Like, can I see them if everybody was a kid in a school classroom, are they the kid that talks loud and gets in trouble all the time but means well? Or are they the kid who gets straight A's and is the teacher's pet? Are they the kid who doesn't care and would much rather be out flying kites? You know, who is this person, right? And so I look first to know who that person is. Well, as I say that, here we have a person, Boston Stubbs, which is one of the pups, and I think he may have found a new home today. We're going to be showing you a few pups today, but I think Boston may have found his new home today, which will be kind of fun. But if not, you're welcome to call up and see if you can have an appointment to see him. We have some gorgeous puppies right now. You can see them at royalfrenchel.com. That's Royal French with an EL on the end of it.com. So feel free to go and see the pups that are available there. But anyway, so what I was talking about was this 5 minute hands-on play and the basic principle that goes into it, which is really about identifying. I was in the second part of that, which was identifying who is this person? Dog. Okay. Who is this dog? Who are they? What manner do they have in the world? What personality do they carry? What's their character? And so these are like genuine inquiry. It's a genuine inquiry that I hold when I meet anyone or anything or any dog. I found it was probably it suited me well for any living thing. I even do it with plants. kind of simple. It's just a different frame. It's a perspective to enter the world with another living thing. So basically, that is just really crucial in my movement with them. The third thing that I do is I then invite them to know me some. So I will give a signal of some kind. I will talk to them. I will pet them, do something physical that alerts them to the fact that not only do I have an interest with them, but that right off the bat, I am a lover of life and really open to that with them as well. And that's done with tone of voice and actions and so on that way. But the biggest thing is really coming from the interest in the other. Like, we're so trained in America. Everything is me, 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 me. We're so worried about not being good enough, not having enough in one way or another, whether it's us enough, enough money, enough this, enough that, that we're constantly putting people into positions of how we can use them well to whatever it is, or just how we can use them. And we do that with our animals. We do it with our children, sadly. And so if you do the 5-minute hands-on play, you can get it on freely just on the Royal Frenchel website. It's both in writing and it's also in a video that was just a really relaxed video I did with someone on the 5-minute hands-on play. I really invite you to see that. Then I would love for you to write me about it. Share something on the thread here during the show or on our thread on any social, because it's so valuable to understand how very simple this principle is when we are not always putting ourselves first, but the way in which we put ourselves first is to actually put ourselves aside for a minute and nourish ourselves off of the absolute blessing it is to look at another life and see how valuable it is just because it exists, because it was born. It had a place in this magnificently huge living mandala that we all live in, each of us a part of it. No matter what your religious or your spiritual background is, I keep it simple. For me, love is that simple. And for me, there is this whole huge piece of music that is being played by all of us. And we all have a part in it. It's a living mandala, a living whole in which each of us is participating. And when we put ourselves aside for a minute, we become interested and really embrace this incredible creature in front of us, have an interest in it, take a moment and a nice deep breath, and really have an interest in them and give it space to actually hear and notice things, notice them. Some people have these ideas that this specific toy is the best thing for their dog. And then you walk in and somebody balls up a sock and knots it, and the sock becomes the dog's favorite thing, right? All those expensive things may not be the answer. The answer may be in noticing your dog at a deeper level and entering that in intimate bond in which you become familiar at a level that so many are not. And hey, you could get called a dog whisperer too. I'm telling you, it ain't hard. Okay. Well, listen, I noticed Samantha has joined us. I call her Sam. She's a wonderful person. She works in the healing arts in Connecticut. And I want to just welcome her and see what she has to bring to us today. And also, I understand that there's a woman, Rebecca Ellisor, who will be joining us as well. And we'll see how it goes. Now, I'm not sure. Maybe Sam, let's see, Turo.
Sam, if you could hear us, go ahead and turn on your camera.
Well, if not, I'm going to go ahead and just remind you that we have our tail wagging love thermos. Okay. The thing that's so great about this thermos, My car is black, so I'm going to show you the black one, though I absolutely hoard the pink. I have the pink for every travel outside of my car that I have. But anyway, this is an incredible thermos, super, super easy. Open, somebody else close this for me. Open, so easy. You just flip it back. You get to drink, your dog gets to drink, but hey, check this out. There is another compartment. You can either bring snacks for your dog, food for your dog, or you can do what I do sometimes. Sometimes I have medicine. I've had a lot of surgery this last year and stuff like that. Sometimes I'll put all those little goodies and vitamins and dog medicine even. I used to have Mr. White's heart medicine in as well. So you can use it for anything. Most people use it for water and food. And I use it for a great bonding moment with my dogs. I love it. And the moment they see this pulled out from under the seat in my car, they just immediately take positions and settle right down and get ready for a little bit of party time and fun. And I drink, they drink, and we all get a snack. So, okay, well, Sam has joined us. Hi, Sam. How are you, sweetheart?
I'm good. How are you guys today?
Very good. Thank you. I'm going to just include Turo here by Turo.
Hi,
Is that
Sam.
okay?
Hi,
Yeah.
Arturo.
Okay,
And who's
great.
this little sweetie that you
And
have?
this is Boston Stubbs.
Oh, hi, Boston.
Hey, listen,
No.
I'm thinking about having Rebecca join us and she can just participate with us. Let's just have some fun discussing. I don't know if you were able to hear the opening topic today, but I can
I
give
was
you
not.
a summary. Okay, I'll give you a quick summary too. Okay, so basically, welcome, Rebecca. I'm not sure where you went. I did push the button, so we'll see if she shows up. But
Yeah.
basically, what I covered today was, hi, Rebecca.
Hi.
Nice to have you with us, sweetheart.
Thanks. Yeah,
Wow, it
good to
looks
be here.
beautiful out there.
It is. It's nice.
All right. Well, wow, it looks like you have a pole set up back there. Is that for is it Annika who has the aerial arts, your daughter?
Yep. That's
Oh
her
my
practice apparatus.
Oh, how fun. You'll have to put some video of her up on the thread. People would love to see it because I know the dogs, Mao follows her out there a lot. Rebecca has one of our Royal Frenchels, or a couple of them actually. And so that'd be fun to share. People would enjoy that, I know.
Yeah.
So I wanted to just do a really quick summary because Sam wasn't here for it. And that was really speaking to the essence and basic principle that makes my dogs unique in a way that is beyond their genetics and into how it is that they are so good at relationship, and they have these things that we call around here the manners matter most, the 3 M's. We call them the M&Ms here because all Royal Frenchels end up developing it on their own naturally in the flow with their people. And you guys can speak to that since you're both Royal Frenchel people, multiply. And but basically what it was sharing about how at the start of their lives, really, one of the things that we do is take an interest in them individually. And I was talking about how so many people are so busy in life and they get used to basically using everything and everyone around them to make sure they've got enough, whether it's enough of the way they think about themselves, whether it's enough money, activity, rest, I mean, health. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. And so what happens is everybody sort of gets thrown into the mix of that, and things and people and animals get thrown into that same mix, and they get utilized for the purposes of that frame rather than the frame of, I'm going to say this, it sounds corny, but I'm going to say it anyway, love. And what is love? But the witnessing of the inherent value of someone, whether they're doing anything for you or not,
Right.
whether they have anything for you or not. It's this great gift that being intimately noticing of another, and we're talking about your dog here, intimately noticing of another, that makes them so open-hearted toward you, which then in return makes you so open-hearted towards them. And suddenly the spiral starts getting bigger and bigger in terms of that incredible set of feelings and relaxed nature that sets in, that returns us back to a simplicity in life that really is outrageous. You can't buy it. You can only create it by walking through the doorways of intimate involvement in life, through witnessing the innate value and interest in another. It's really remarkable. And then, of course, if someone does that to you, it makes you feel so special, which is why most people, and I didn't get to say this in the beginning because I forgot, but which is why most people feel so good with their dogs.
Right.
Because the dogs do that with us naturally. They look at us with interest and care, and as though we're valuable. No matter what we do, they just are unconditionally on our team. And, you know, ready to really embrace us. So, anyway, that was kind of the basic theme. I don't want to go on forever here. I can talk too long. It's already 15 minutes into the show. I have done nothing yet other than talk myself. So let me embrace you, Samantha. Share anything you would like to share on the topic at all.
Well, I did love you. I heard you mention this before, and it's just a simple concept. I think us humans can overcomplicate a one-man parade. So, um, hearing the idea of love being showing interest. And I have a couple questions for you. One, how did you first start to recognize this, or when in your life did you start to first think about this idea of intimacy with our dogs, and just the idea of how to show interest in them in a way that is reciprocal, where we're giving to them and we feel them automatically giving back to us. How did it start for you? How did you start exploring that?
Oh, God. Sam, you always ask these questions. It should be on some other kind of talk show other than a dog show, right? I'm going to be kind of as brief as I can be with it because I want to be authentic with you and everyone. I mean, basically, I was born really out of whack. Okay. I was born without antibodies and I was sick, like seriously ill as an infant, to the degree that I had no antibodies to fight things. So I got like the German measles that you're only supposed to get once in life. I got them 3 times. And I died a couple times as a youth. And I don't really remember ever not knowing it. I can tell you that when I drowned once when I was quite young, maybe about 7 years old, and I remember thinking I would be so panicked and it would hurt so bad when I finally let go and took a breath, right? Because I was underwater and I was being dragged in an undertow on the bottom of the ocean.
Wow.
And I grew up on the sea, and my brother and I were doing what we should not have been doing. Anyway, so I got dragged out, and there was this moment at which I knew that if I took that breath, I was out of breath, and that would mean I was leaving somewhere. And that's exactly what happened. However, there was no pain whatsoever. Instead, I was catapulted out in this incredible warmth. Like, it was just like being coddled in the most snuggly, warm, amazing feeling you could ever have. And then of course I was in this journey. I was moving swiftly, but I could still see the underground in the water. So it was sort of like I was in 2 places at the same time, really. And And then, of course, my attention went fully to the sort of tunnel thing I was in. And there was a lot of light and then people. And I don't want to go into that whole story, maybe some other time on another type of talk show. But what surrounded me at that moment was a deep knowledge about what I talk about, and was a deep knowledge of what really nourishes me in life today. People are so afraid of being alone. And, you know, we're alone. We're born alone. We die alone. And it's a very powerful thing to accept and to understand and to know that we can share our lives. And one of the greatest ways to never feel alone is to witness another at a depth like what I was sharing about earlier. And without repeating myself a third time, it's really about, you know, the power of this depth of incredible appreciation that we can live around if we only look. And if we can look at where is it the gifts are in the situation? Where is it the beauty is in it? You know, where is it the opportunity is in it for my own maturity or my own skill level to increase? Things like that. And that was somehow impregnated in me very young through one or many of those experiences, because I really had quite a few. I had a brain disease later also, which created a neurological difference in me. And I had to literally live on my intuitive senses for like a long time, very long time, most of my next, I would say 20 years, until I just, you know, got better and better. And, but unfortunately, by then I had so many habits from the intuitive nature of myself that I continued them. So I don't use intellect as my first tool. Like most humans, I use intuition as my first tool. Intellect comes after. And I think that was really great in working with animals, really blessed me. I hope that answers your question, because that really was the opening door for me, I think. And I can't really take credit for it. I can just say it lives in life itself if we can locate it. And I was fortunate enough to be surrounded by it at some point and took it in.
Well, it's so
Got opened up.
interesting because I've looked into or heard, you know, watched YouTubes and stuff like that about near-death experiences, and there are similarities in that, in most of them, and just the experience of, if I just sum it up, the experience of light and love that is indescribable. And for those people, it tends to be life-changing. So when it comes to these dogs or our dogs, how does one, is it something we connect to in ourselves?
Mm-hmm.
How do we connect to our dogs in that
Exactly the way I outlined.
Yeah,
Like
I could share
there's
that.
no big mystery to this. It's really, this is why I don't usually, I've never told this story. And today I'm doing it because I want to honor you. You're here and you've been coming every week, and I so appreciate it. And you ask really unusual questions for dog talk. And I really like that, you know, I really do. But I'm going to keep it to the dogs. You know, the truth is, Turo, you were going to say something
Oh
just
yeah, I
now.
mean
Yeah.
the story. I mean, what I know, and I haven't died and had experiences like Anahata
Yeah.
going into those places. However, you know, I've obviously have learned so much from her, from this love she speaks about. And when you try it, and which is simply, you know, the simple act is to take your attention off of the
Yourself.
self-consuming thoughts that humans get stuck in, worrying about how they look, whether they're okay and all, and put your attention on the animal and with interest and intrigue. And it literally, I mean, you feel better instantly because it is our nature to do that, I believe. So I think it's really that simple, and it's a law for humans in their relationships as well. If you just take interest in the other,
Mhm.
it takes it off of you and this whole idea that you have to be something for the other. And instead, you're just on a journey of interest, exploring who this little person is. And they love it. Like they pick up on that, and it's like that's their food, you know. And then you guys end up having these meals together, right? It's like if it's the food, it's like you, and every meal becomes deeper and richer and more exotic because there's so much to each little creature. So yeah, it's as simple as that. I think it's just choose. And I think that's what the brilliance of the 5 minute hands-on play is, because it's a structure that just says step one, you know, do this. Step two, inquire into your dog. Like just ask them questions, like go for it. They don't have to speak the same language, but you have the experience of inquiry is an energetic communication to them that they receive and they can respond to. So it's just beautiful. And it's so, you know, it's analogous to acknowledging that you are not alone in, like, in a spiritual sense. When you acknowledge that there's other presence, that literal attention of your mind is healing. You know, when I've been
Sure
in
is.
my worst states of mind, if I just imagine, okay, what beings are, you know, are there other beings who are part of my journey here, I'm immediately at peace because I'm now part of something bigger. And it's the same to me, mechanically the same thing of being interested in your pet. And it works, you know, because that is, to me, it's just the law of this place.
And you know, it's things like, let's take tail wagging. When you're talking about that with the Royal Frenchel, they have very little tail. So we call it bum wagging. We call it bum wagging here. So it's tail and bum here because the Royal Frenchel gets excited and their whole behind moves. A lot of Frenchies do that. But you know, tail wagging is something that a lot of people think immediately, oh, he's wagging his tail, he's so happy. Well, that's not always true. Tail wagging actually could be, the faster it is, the more representative it is of excitement. And then a little bit rung down from that is excitement and happiness. But when you get to slow tail wag or a frozen tail or a tail down between the legs, those things mean a different story. And a lot of people are unaware, and you can learn that stuff simply by being involved with your dog. And then you can know things ahead of time. I was in Seattle and somebody came down the street. They really wanted to meet my dog. They had this great big dog. The dog was like super, super, you know, happy. It looked like its tail was wagging, you know, so wagging. And the person said, I said, is your dog friendly? Have they ever had any incident with another dog? Oh, no. They completely, well, that's what they told me. And then I noticed my dog. And Mr. White was like, no, thank you. And he basically just stopped in his tracks. And his behind did not move at all. Like it was gone. It was like he was only a front end and that was dug in. I immediately knew, you know. Now, Mr. Ed, who was my other service dog, I usually have two. And at that point, both of them were alive. And Eddie was willing, but also his tail didn't wag, which would be usually the case. So, you know, as a result of that, I said, excuse me, no. And I did my usual thing, a good 18 inches away from the head of that dog on its leash, and waited. And the way I do it is I take my left hand and I pull that leash back. And so my dogs are behind me, behind my left side. And they can still see the other animal and the other people can see them, but I'm more attentive to them at that point in terms of possible protection. And within a second, that dog lunged on them. And so, you know, you can learn so many things from your animals about them. And it's fun, you know, like the more you learn, like I know, what was it, about 10 days ago, we got some food from somewhere in a restaurant and my dog wouldn't, you know, wasn't excited about it at all. And everybody was saying, oh, he's full, he's full. And I'm like, no, that would not be the reason. So instead of me taking a great big bite, I took a tiny little taste Sure enough, it was bad. And the dog, she didn't want to eat it. I didn't want to eat it. And it got chucked out and I got a credit. So, you know, the more you know of your dog, the more they are a partner in life to help you out at all kinds of turns in life that are kind of simple. And, you know, that's the whole point of life, right? You know, we earn all this money to have a simple life, a good life, a rich life, right? A life that we love, a life that is creative and sweet and we can be proud of, right? Nobody's proud of hurrying around and trying to hit every rung on the ladder. I don't think. Dogs don't do that. Yeah. So what do you think, Rebecca?
I love the conversation. I don't think you can repeat it often enough, really, because it's what really hits the mark. We have, like you say, we're all doing all this stuff. You're talking about the rungs of the ladder. We're always doing all this stuff. But it can, if you're not paying attention to who you're with, then it can end up being you're not really satisfied in your day. You're not really feeling like uplifted or happy or engaged with people. But like the just the practice of slowing down with your dogs gets you into that mind of inquiry you're talking about, that curiosity of life. And it's almost like those are like the sweet moments that I think over time end up being what make our life rich. You know?
And then there are the realities of the science of it all. And that is that, you know, when we smell our dog's breath, when we play with our dog, 83% of people say they feel better after playing with their dog.
Yeah.
And of course, we know but from science that we produce greater oxytocin, which is the love chemical, right? Serotonin goes up, heart rates come down, pulse rates even out. I mean, come on. Yeah. There's a reason why our body is saying, yes, yes, I want more. And
yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, yes.
It's not a joke. And I didn't have to take some supplement,
right.
You know, go smoke a mushroom. I just had to play with my dog.
Yeah.
Kind of simple.
Yeah. We have videos on our website from Royal Family people, and you could hear many people say that they've cut back their medicine once getting their dog.
Yeah.
And it's true. It's like they just their blood pressure goes down. Like,
and by the way, we don't
notches.
recommend that.
Yeah,
We're not doctors.
Yeah,
I have to do the liability thing here just for a moment. We're not doctors. We don't recommend that, and we don't tell anyone that.
Right.
However, what Arturo is saying,
yeah, they report that to us, so and they make their own decisions about that. And you know, we've even had one of our people cut back her antidepressant medicines. Guided by her doctor,
therapist.
Therapist. Yeah, and that
actually
was her goal, and she's doing it. You know, so it's real. It's very real. Yeah.
We also have like a number of them, as many as 20 over the last 25 years that I know personally, that went completely off their meds over a period of time, using their dog in a really real way. And I have someone right now who is someone with PTSD from the military. And you know, maybe someday they'll share their story, but it's a remarkable one. And they have completely changed their lives because of their dog. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, my youngest, Annika, recently got Miss Mao, one of your dogs. And just, I want to mention how much that's important for children as well, because for one to have the care and responsibility of another person is a huge opportunity for kids, but also just that loving and being present and you know, I'm just kind of supporting her. I'm like, oops, she's talking to you. Did you hear what she's saying, or did you say goodbye to her, or you know, some of that conversation. you know, it's funny how we can just be so busy we forget some of that stuff, some of that etiquette or some of the manners, but really just having a dog and being in a relationship that way gives you those opportunities to slow down and really be present.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so true. Let me share one because this is good. My dog Whimsy, who's the grandma of this dog. This is Valentine. Um, she is such a constant reminder for me. And I've shared this story before, but the more I let her, the more she enjoys it. But she does this, I call it reading the papers. Whenever I come into the office, it's like, I'm like, I'm in a rush, right? And I'm trying to work with something. And if I'm with like she wants to come with me, first of all. Like, I'm going to the bathroom, Whimsy. Do you really? Yeah, I want to come. Okay.
Yeah.
No, it's going to be a Whimsy walk. So we just make it a walk. And that little time, you're so right. I mean, it's like a love app, with a notification.
Yeah.
Is like this cue to me to just stay present. Remember, there's enough time. There's enough time for her to go read the papers. There's enough time to have her join me in my little walk across the room, go to the bathroom. There's enough time to acknowledge her. And and she loves it, and she feels like she matters, like she's part of my day, like her interests matter. And I don't think it's interesting to go smell laundry, but she does.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's important to her. And she's, and what that has triggered in me is noticing how diplomatic she is around the kennel. She is a really amazing person. She's so respectful. She greets everybody. All the dogs, she greets them. She says hi. She smells. She lays down. She's like a little glue. She plays with the young ones. I mean, she is like this amazing little being amidst all of our dogs. That is just it's important that she meets them. She's their grandma. She's teaching them manners. She's showing them the way. She shows them how to play gently, So who am I to take that from her? You know what I mean? Just because I'm busy.
Right.
I want to also include another thing. We're so busy talking, and here you've got little Arlo. Hi, Arlo. You can see Arlo for a minute. This is Arlo, and he's another little fella. You can see him on the site, and there's some fun videos of him as well. But and the site info is below. Excuse me. Another really important thing that I do, Sam, because you were interested.
Sam has just stepped away.
Oh, did she? Okay, no problem.
Yeah.
I know she had somebody arriving at her home today to do some construction of some kind. So anyway, another thing that's really, really important and vital is people think of talking to their animals, right? And they're talking, when I do the 5-minute hands-on play, they're talking to them and they're being quiet. One of the things that we do, and I had to teach our courier this, if she wanted to handle our dogs, I thought it was really important that she know a few techniques, and I taught her this one. One is before she goes on a trip, she comes to the dog and she simply shares with the dog that she's going to be taking the dog on a trip.
Yes.
And she shows them mental pictures in her head of walking out with the dog, getting in the car, being at the airport, getting on an airplane, and arriving to meet new people. And she really does show this to every dog before they leave. And before she did this, the dogs that she would take were very anxious.
Yeah.
And they were completely what most dogs would be: higher stressed, anxious, nervous twits, etc. And after she did this, and she will tell you, maybe I'll have her on the show at some point too. After she did this method, it stopped. And the dogs go with her peacefully. They have a wonderful trip and they meet their new people. And this is hands down across the board. When you talk to your dog, remember that they may use a holistic brain, a different type of communication standard. So they may not use the digital type that you use. And that's why using imagery and messages that have the whole meaning in it can be really, really helpful. And so that's what I do. And I got into the habit of it so young. Like whenever I'm talking to a dog about, come on, we're going to get going, immediately my brain is already showing them pictures of me getting going, getting my purse, getting the keys out, getting in the car, and they can see it all. And I hook up with them that way. And so there's the number one skill of actually learning to do that on, in an appropriate time ahead of time, right? And or when you're having a conversation with them. And the other is how to actually make that contact. So you don't, I'm going to say to you, don't worry about it. Just do it. At some moment, you will realize, you will have a moment in which you go, wow, I think they just saw that. Oh my gosh, I think they just got that. Gee, and they'll tell somebody next to them, do you know what just happened? I think she really got it. I thought this was just like something we do, right? Like woo woo.
Yes.
No, it's not woo woo. It's very real. Remember, there are many, many methods. You have quantum computers today. You know, they use a whole different way of communicating that's systemic and entirely all at once based on who's looking and who's not looking and stuff like that, you know. So when you do this with your dog, you're tapping into the world that is far grander than what we've been taught about. And you know, the big thing I always tell people, try it for 3 weeks. Do your own science experiment. It works every single time. I have never had a customer who left my presence and did it for 3 weeks and didn't contact me afterwards and go absolutely, absolutely nuts. Telling me how valuable it was to them.
I was away from my Whimsy, and she wasn't happy that I left her.
Oh my
And
God, this was crazy.
I didn't get to say goodbye to her because I was rushing. And and when I was when I was away, I felt her looking for me. So and I could feel it inside me, like, oh, Whimsy's. So I just talked to her out loud. I was like, hey, Whim, and I apologized to her. I'm so sorry I left like that. I'm here. I'll be back soon. I sent her an image of when I'd be back, that I'd be joining with her, you know, that we'd be together again. And it was so cool because I felt unsettled because of how I left her. It settled me, and I believe it settled her. And then when I got home, she was already outside looking for me and knew I was coming. And it was just the sweetest, sweetest thing. And, you know, I was like, oh, this is what Anahata's talking about, you know, because
Yeah.
me, it's very real. You know, even though I
Oh
can't
yeah.
see her, I felt it very truly that that's what occurred. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
really
one
awesome.
reason why dogs work so well with humans is
Mhm.
because they are so deeply intuitive.
Yeah.
And of course, a human being finds that skill base very valuable because they anticipate things that we really enjoy or we need. You know, they'll hunt for us, they'll snuggle with us, they'll help our children feel better in the yard, be safer. There's so many things that they do for us that have a huge intuitive base to them. And that's why, yeah. Well, I want to also just share.
Jessica's here.
Oh, Jess, wow.
Yeah, so there you
How
go. We asked
fun.
for Jess, and Jess shows up.
Who is this? Hi, Jess. Hold on, let's see. She's coming on. Hi, Jessica.
Hi.
Also another Royal Frenchel family. She's a royal family, and she is a jazz singer. And her dog goes to so she's also a choir teacher and puts on pretty big events. And her dog goes and actually has a chair in the front row along with other people. Her own chair, sits in the chair. We should have a picture of that to show right now. I don't know if you have one handy. You can, I'll let you share if you do. That would be so fun, Jess, if you do.
Oh, I don't know if I do. I have so many pictures of them in my students' laps during.
Oh yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah, and then one of my students just made we had a showcase, like a solo performance, and one of my students made a video of it for everybody. And of course, Gidget, one of my Royal Frenchels, is featured right in the middle of the video. there's a whole Gidget, what do you call it? I don't know, like like a minute of Gidget in there, and then she dedicates the performance at the end to all 3 Royal Frenchels.
Uh-huh.
It's so sweet. They're such a presence with all my students.
Mhm.
I love them.
Yeah, I'll tell you. Well, so Jess, I don't know if you've been able to hear anything about the show today, but would you? Oh, you haven't?
I
Okay.
haven't. I'm just getting out of a training and stepping in.
Okay. Here, we're going to just show you this picture because actually you sent us a picture of the one with Gidget that you were just talking about. This is really fun to show. Hold on, Turo's
Hold on
getting
one
it up.
second, just loading it up here.
In the meantime, you can look at my girl.
Oh.
And yeah.
So she's a micro, and her name is
Here's the picture.
I just
Jess.
went blank on her name. So
Aw.
here's the picture of Jess's student with her Royal Frenchel.
Aw.
Classic Gidget.
And-
Yep.
And that's the size small. Gidget's a size small in a Royal Frenchel. And she's just a big love and a wonderful mom. A wonderful mom dog. Okay. Yeah, back to you, Jess.
Maybe Jess, can you share a little bit about what it's like to have her with you and those choirs and stuff? Because I know I got to spend some time, but we didn't produce the video yet. But it'd be
Yeah.
good to hear about it.
Well, there's just so many there's so many ads that they bring. I mean, a fun one is I walk in, if I ever show up without them, of course the first question always is, where are the dogs? But you know what was interesting? I had a rehearsal without them recently, which is for some reason I didn't have them. It's highly unusual. And I noticed that the energy level was lower. I had to work harder to get the same joy out of my students, because when Joy, Peppercorn, and Gidget are there, or all 3 of them or one of them are there, their presence adds energy, joy, calmness. I've had many students who were performing solos for the first time, and they were so nervous until they looked at one of my dogs while performing. And that just calmed them and focused them and lightened their heart. The other thing that is not uncommon is I had a student having a tough day. He was having I don't know what was going on. Gidget went right over to him
Of
and
course.
sat on his lap for an hour and just knew what was going on and
Aw,
loved him up. And
thing.
yeah, so yeah, those are some of the examples of having them there. They're part of my choir infrastructure now.
Uh-huh. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, there's again, I'm going to bring up a little bit of science. The reality is that across the board, statistically, dogs in offices have a higher production rate, no matter what type of work it is. They do better. They have higher revenue, and they're happier. And guess what? They miss less work. They have the rate of showing up for work is much higher than it is for offices with no dog. So it's pretty cool. What you're saying actually has legs. This is really true of all offices, whether it's, your work or a different type of work. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I bring Ren to my my birth classes. I'm a doula and I teach birth classes, and when I bring her to those classes, I was sharing this a different week on the Dog Talk show, but when I'm bringing her, all the folks there are just more calm, more happy, and it does just bring in that joy bubble like you're talking about, Jess. So makes my job easier.
Mm-hmm.
It's really interesting, isn't it? How any dog can do that. Of course, we're talking Royal Frenchels because they are so easy and they have such great manners and they flow well with most situations and circumstances. But any dog will do that in work, etc. Just Royals have an easier time of making it happen. It's a breed difference. Yeah. Wow. Well, ladies, this is really fun to have you with us. We are closer and closer with Mr. White, the AI buddy that we're going to be launching here pretty soon. We're going to show you that right now. Terrell's going to just show you for a moment. This is Mr. White, who will be aiding people who, hold on just for a second here. We're going to get it open and be able to show you. I'll take it from here.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah.
But this is Mr. White. It's the website it's almost finished now. Mr. White will be doing a number of things for people. Anyone can ask him questions and participate for free, and he will answer. You can have an account, and you'll be able to ask anything and track anything really well. But members get really something really, really special. In the new book I have coming out in about a month, there is a whole really rich section of a journal type of very special journal that takes your dog from birth to their final days. And the Mr. White will actually help you compile that journal year after year, day after day, month after month, and really, make it incredibly powerful. The next thing will happen, and think about it. It's really fun when you think about a generation or two down road, what it will be like for them to see your dog journals. That it's really fun for me to think that way and to think about it. Along with all the other things in life, it's really fun when you get to know somebody's dog and what you thought and what your life was like with them. But also, you'll get an NFT, which is a picture of your dog on an image that's connected to the blockchain, and it absolutely is, unbreakable and timeless, and it's transferable, and you can put a couple of records actually in the NFT, which is like your purchase agreement on your animal, and any other certifications or registrations that they have. And along with your account, where you can put a ton of stuff in that account, but associated with your NFT will be a few documents that are your prized documents of belonging, what we call belonging here. We don't use the term ownership. We use co-belonging because your dog belongs to you and you belong to your dog. So we call it co-belonging here. And so that's really special. You'll get an NFT and you'll be shown how to do that and everything. It's super, super easy. Your dog's picture will be on it. And then last, you will be able to track all of your messages. So if you go to the vet, you have a whole history of vaccinations, you'll be able to say to Mr. White, Mr. White, can you show me Charlie's vaccinations over the last year, etc. And so this is really special. So you will be able to there'll be two different types of here's Mr. White with his buddies in the spirit world, right? And ready to help you. So there'll be an elite pack membership, the premium plan, or there'll be the companion crew membership. And the companion crew membership is free. And these are the pack memberships that you can participate with Mr. White. And it's really, really fun and dear. And then, of course, there's a ton of questions and answers that Mr. White avails you to right away. So it's really, really special. Isn't this fun? Can you
That's
guys?
so great. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be so cool.
Really great.
It's going to be so cool because you're going to be able to interact like real time with things you notice about your dog, and Mr. White will just track it all in a journal, and you can take a picture and be like, Mr. White, take this picture, put it in his journal, and it's like he's just your personal dog assistant and sage for anything that you have answered, and he's learning to be, like this awesome dog at the same time that he was. So you're going to get advice from a dog. So that's pretty cool. You know what I mean? Like, that's in development, and we'll see how far they can take that. But this is like, it's such a cool thing.
Very
to be
special.
able. It's like it gives the dog a language, and we can and it'll continue to learn and give you really good advice.
And it's all based on the character of Mr. White, the way he truly was, and how he really behaved. He was the best service dog, really, I've ever had. He and Eddie. And of course, I have one now, another Royal Frenchel, and it's really fun to have them. But this is a picture of Mr. White down there. You can see him. That's the real Mr. White in his real life. And this is the story of his journey in the last life in flesh that he had. And then it goes on to share with you his passage and what happened. And then my story with Mr. White. And here's Mr. White and me out in San Francisco one night when I was there with a whole group of friends from the crypto world and an NFT world there. So anyway, yeah, really special. And these are the websites associated with us. Of course, we have the Better Business Bureau ratings that anybody can go get. I have a site called Forever Life Naturals. It's a really, really important site for me personally. I don't actually market it, but I always let people know it has the best, only one product on it. And it is the best product I have ever used in my life, anywhere, anytime, hands down, including all medicines or anything to do with skin issues or pain. It's really been incredibly helpful. And if you ever have questions about it, feel free to contact me. My number is on the website for Royal Frenchel. Also, Tail Wagging Love, our store where you can get our beautiful thermoses. And I have a whole line coming out, folks, of some clothes, which are going to be so fun. Can't wait to share them with you. And then, of course, the Royal Frenchel website there. So kind of fun to share with you. Yeah, did you want to say something?
One other thing that would be fun to show you guys is her books.
Oh, yeah.
2 published books here that you can actually get on Amazon now. Prepared Pets is really important. Being prepared is the best you can do, and most people don't consider the needs that their dogs or animals have in an emergency. And everyone has seen there's just emergencies all over. We actually just learned about like a potential disaster situation in the Seattle area
in all of Washington.
In all of Washington. But you don't know. I mean, the earth is a dynamic, changing situation. You don't know when your area is going to get hit, and you want to be prepared. And it just doesn't take that much. The book helps you. It guides you through the steps. It comes with forms.
Super really easy. Helpful. All forms, so it's super easy. You have forms for every little thing. It makes it really quick and easy to use. So please use it. Do you know that 83% of the people in the US live in natural disaster zones? Don't take this lightly. I know it's a subject nobody really cares much about. I mean, you should see the listings. Everybody was saying to me, why are you doing that book? That book's not going to make you anything. And I'm like, because it's needed and it will help people and their dogs. Like any idea, over 170,000 dogs were lost because they had no prepared plan in the last year. And it's really sad, it's heartbreaking if you just had a few little steps in place, not even all of them. They're not that hard. They're super easy. You can do them with your kids or do them with somebody, a friend, have fun. Both of you do your dogs together. And that way you put your plan together. Please, please, please take this seriously. If you can't afford it, contact me. I will give you a copy on a PDF version. Take this seriously. Let our love go out to you and your dog. Okay. Well, we're almost at the end of our show. I just want to say to you that we do have another book coming out, The Way of the Dog, which is going to be really special. And I'm really looking forward to sharing that book. That will be the most meaningful, full-fledged book over all my life with dogs that I think will be the most fun. So anyway, not that that's all exciting to you guys to hear all about those things that I'm making, but I really want to bring my all to people and their dogs. I want to say that, anyone who's interested in buying Royal Frenchel, please contact me. I'm in my 70s. I have a lot of surgeries I've had in the last 2 years. I have some more on the docket for the coming year or two. And I would really love to hear from anyone who's serious about possibly buying Royal Frenchel. That would be fun to meet someone who is the right person. And yeah, listen, we send our love to everyone here. Don't forget Tail Wagging Love on Amazon, your 3-part wonderful stackable bottle for water and food with your dog. Super, super easy to clean. And we love you guys.
Yeah,
We wish you the best. And we send your dogs a great big hug.
Yeah.
And don't forget um little Alphonse, I call him here, but that's not really his name. But anyway, that's what I call him. And
Arlo, Mr.
little Arlo is his real name. But
hey, thanks, Jessica and Rebecca and Samantha for joining us. You guys are awesome.
yeah,
Great to hear your stories. And to all of you out there who are watching on video, whether you're live or watching this after, please comment if you have any feedback or want to see anything, or
please
chime in. And we do this every Wednesday at 12 o'clock. We're considering doing more, but right now it's every Wednesday. So just plan on being here if you can. We'd love to have you join us. Just reach out to us earlier so we can confirm you're a person and that you're,
Oh, yeah.
you're a real participant.
we
'Cause we've
let
had some other-
somebody on. The first time we let somebody on, right? It said Caroline, whoever wants on the show, and we went. I went and clicked it, saying, "Oh, here comes Caroline. We don't know her. How fun!" And when I did it, it was like some horrific sexual thing. They hacked our account. We couldn't get them off. We had to close the show and reopen. It was a wild scene.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Believe-
crazy.
So don't take offense. We do
Yeah.
check you out.
Yeah, and then please, if you do love this and this is up your alley, this dog content and the way we raise our dogs, go ahead and like and follow us so that you get notified that we're doing this and anything we do, so we can have you be part of our community.
And of course,
Yeah.
if you leave comments, it's wonderful for us, for the algorithm. It helps get the show out there. We're new, only, a couple of months old, and it would be so fun to have the show shared to more people. Thank you guys. Much love.
Much love.
Have a
love.
wonderful day. Thank you, Jess and Rebecca.
Thank you guys.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Bye. Oh, Sam too.
Sam, yeah,
Even though
she
he's
wasn't able
not
to
there.
come back, but thanks, Sam. Bye-bye.
See ya.
Bye.